7. More powerful than the miracle of Prophet Musa. Among the miracles of Prophet Musa ﷺ is the spring of water magically emitting from the rock which he hit with his staff. This event is enshrined in the Quran in Surah Al-Baqarah verse 60 as follows. And, remember, when Musa asked for water for his people, then we said, strike the rock with your stick. Then came 12 springs of water. Miracles like this never happened during the time of the Prophet Muhammad, but what was even more extraordinary happened several times, namely the event that springs gushed from between his fingers. Imam al-Bayhaqi recounted the event of a very large amount of water gushing out of his hand at the moment of peace in Hudaybiyah when more than 1,000 Muslims pledged allegiance to the Prophet. This incident was narrated by Jabir's best friend. Details as follows. Hushaym bin Abdirrahman said, I heard Salim bin Abi al-Jad say, I asked Jabir, how many people were there on Sayajara, Hudaybiyah, day? He said we numbered 1,500 people. Jabir then told about the thirst that had befallen them all. Then Rasulullah was brought water in a container and he put his hand in the container and water gushed from between his fingers as if it were a spring. Jabir said, then we drank it and it sufficed us all. I asked Jabir, how many of you are there? He replied if we were 100,000 people, it would be enough for all of us, but at that time we numbered 1,500 people, al-Bayhaqi, al-I'tiqad, 272-273. The occurrence of the appearance of the miraculous water also occurred at another time when the Prophet was in Medina. Ibn Abbas said that at that time a spring appeared from his fingers so that Bilal called on the people who were present to perform ablution from the water. When the Prophet and his companions were in the Quba area, Anas' friend told that the same incident happened once again so that approximately 70 to 80 people made ablution using water gushing from between his fingers which was put in a container of water, al-Bayhaqi, al-I'tiqad, 273. 8. Healing the companions. Prophet Isa ﷺ. In the Quran it is stated that he once cured blindness from birth and hairpiece. The Quran launches its statement, meaning, and I heal people who are blind from birth and people who have hair loss, and I revive the dead with Allah's permission, QS. Ali Imran, 49. What about the Prophet Muhammad? Is there a miracle in the form of healing? The answer is, a lot. First, healing Abdullah bin Atiq's best friend's leg which was broken while on an attack mission. It is said that Abdullah bin Atiq along with several other people was assigned to carry out an attack on Abu Rafi, Salam bin Abi al-Huqayq, a Jewish merchant who became a provocateur for the Quraysh to fight against the Muslims in Medina, as well as being their war funder. However, during the mission, Abdullah broke his leg. In full, this story is told in Sahih al-Bukhari. Meaning, at that time I arrived at a step where my feet felt as if they had touched the ground. However, on that very bright moonlit night I fell. My leg is broken. Then I covered him with my turban. After that, I slowly went and sat in front of the gate. I said to my friends, I will not leave this fort until I know when I have really killed him, Abu Rafi. Abu Rafi, the merchant from the Hijaz, has died. Then I went to my friends and said, let's go save ourselves, because Allah has killed Abu Rafi. In the presence of the Prophet, I told him that. He said, spread your feet. Then I spread them. He then rubbed it. As soon as I rubbed it, my feet seemed to feel no pain at all, al-Bukhari hadith. Second, heal Salamah's wounds. Meaning, al-Maki bin Ibrahim has narrated to us that Yazid bin Abu Ubaid said, I once saw a scar from a sword blow on Salamah's leg, knee. I then asked him, O Abu Muslim, what is that wound? He replied, this is the wound from the blow I received during the Khaybar battle. At that time people said, Salamah is injured, so I then went to the Prophet, and he spat on my wound 3 times. After that I have not felt any pain until now, hadith narrated by al-Bukhari. Third, heal blindness with a prayer taught by the Prophet, meaning, Uthman bin Hunayf narrated, there was a blind person who came to the Prophet and said, O Nabiyullah, pray to Allah to heal me. He said, If you want, I will postpone my prayer and it is more important for your hereafter. And if you will, I will pray for you. Then the man said, No, pray for me. So he ordered the person to perform ablution and pray 2 cycles of prayer, then recited a prayer, O Allah, indeed I ask you, I pray to you through your Prophet, Muhammad, the Prophet of Mercy. O Muhammad, in fact, through your intercession, I turned to my Lord regarding my need, and you asked for healing for me. Uthman bin Hunayf radiyallahu anhu continued his story, then that person recited the prayer earlier. On another occasion, the person said, As far as I remember, there was a sentence, with the hope that you can help me through your prayers, then the man did it and eventually recovered, hadith of Ahmad's history. 4th, heal the wounds of Qubayb bin Adi. Qubayb bin Abdurrahman told me that Qubayb bin Adi was cut by a sword during the Battle of Badr so that his body tilted to one side. But then the Prophet spat on the wound, wrapped it up, and put it back together until it was compatible again, hadith of the history of Baihaqi in Dalail and Nabawiyah. 5th, heal Qatada's eye that hung on his cheek during the Battle of Badr. It was narrated that Qatada bin Nu'man was hit in the eye by a weapon during the Battle of Badr so that his eyeballs hung on his cheek. At first the friends wanted to cut it. Luckily, they asked the Prophet first. And he also forbade, Don't cut it. Then he called Qatada and returned his eyeballs with the palm of his hand. To the extent that even Qatada did not know which eye was previously injured, because it was completely healed, hadith of Baihaqi's history in Dalail and Nabawiyah. 6th, heal the eyes of Abu Dzar who was injured during the Uhud war. Meaning, Abdurrahman bin Harith bin Ubayd narrated that his grandfather said, Abu Dzar's eye was injured during the Uhud battle. Then the Messenger of Allah spat on it, so the eye that was injured earlier became the healthiest eye, hadith narrated by Abu Yala. Wallahu alam bishawab.